Mailbag time on Seahawks today, but first, the Noti Gang. Yeah, I'm looking at you. I want you to join the Noti Gang if you haven't already. If you want to be the first to know what's happening with your favorite team, subscribe now and turn on notifications. Stay locked in, up to date, what's happening with your Seattle Seahawks, daily news and rumors, any changes, coaching search, from trades to free agency draft and more. All those updates are covered right here on the channel. Turn on notifications so you stay up to date what's happening in your favorite team. We got you covered. The man himself with a $5 super chat says, what rookie QB coming in would you pair with Dan Quinn? Or what rookie/coach would you go with? Hashtag fresh start, hashtag Seahawks. The man himself, thanks for that $5 super chat. Much appreciated. I like the idea of taking Penix at 16. Then I don't have to trade up, don't have to give up any assets or anything. And ideally, I would take Jim Harbaugh personally, if it's up to me, if it's my choice. But as I've said previously, and many times over the last few days, I do think this is Dan Quinn's job to lose. Unless the interviews don't go well, or if there's another team that potentially outbids and throws up more money than what Seattle's willing to pay potentially. Then I think Dan Quinn is going to be the guy. But I think that the idea of bringing Michael Penix to be your next quarterback, to sit under Geno Smith for a year, potentially, it makes a lot of sense. I would like that idea, the man himself. Thanks for that super chat. Bell with a $10 super chat. Bell says, I'm going off the board with Joe Brady. Brilliant offensive mind and willing to put great people around him. I like Joe Brady. Joe Brady was first with the Saints as an offensive assistant, goes to LSU as the co-OC, wins the national championship with Joe Burrow, goes on to the NFL with the Carolina Panthers. Things didn't work out there with Matt Rule and company. Now we see him in Buffalo. And they fired Ken Dorsey as their OC about halfway through the season. Joe Brady became the OC. He's still the interim. And that offense is cooking. They look so much better with him calling the plays, comparatively speaking to what we saw from Dorsey. I don't think Joe Brady's going to be a head coach just yet. Maybe someday, but if you're Joe Brady, you're probably not even thinking about being a head coach right now. You're just hoping that you get promoted to be full-time OC of the Buffalo Bills. The man himself. I've seen a couple other channels about the draft. Even Chat Sports has the Hawks not picking quarterback for the first pick. Thoughts? Yes, Tom Downey is predicting that. I disagree. I would like to see the Seahawks pick a quarterback. There's too many good quarterbacks. This is the thing that I will continue to preach and reiterate on this issue of where the Seahawks stand and why now is the right time to get a quarterback. You're going to have a new head coach coming in, and this is the best quarterback class in years. And so now is a great time to let your new head coach pick the quarterback that they want to be their guy, that they want to ride or die with, that they can be measured equally together. To me, it makes a ton of sense. Seahawks, I would use that first-round pick. Go get your quarterback of the future. You can still bring Geno back and have that quarterback sit behind Geno until they're ready. To me, it makes sense, the man himself. Beard King writes in, we've been asking about who would be best, but I want to ask, who would be the worst? My vote is Clint Herdt. Well, I can tell you this right now. Clint Herdt is not being considered to be the Seahawks head coach, and you might have hit the nail on the head. That might be the worst choice for the Seattle Seahawks if they went with Clint Herdt to be their head coach. That'd be slightly worse than Shane Waldron, potentially speaking. But I got to say, there's a lot of names out there. And for me, there's some bad names. Like, think of Raheem Morris. I know that he's kind of picking momentum. What has he done in his two stints of being a head coach? One was an interim in Atlanta. One was 3 years in Tampa Bay where you're like, man, that guy needs to be my head coach. I mean, some people, here's the deal. Here's the bottom line. I don't think this gets said enough, but it is a fact, 110%. Some coaches are meant to be head coaches. Some coaches are meant to be coordinators, and that's okay. I think about Norv Turner. Norv is the perfect example of this. Norv was a brilliant OC. Norv did a great job with a number of organizations as an OC. But every damn time this man got to be a head coach, he failed time and time again. And that's okay. Just had to accept reality. Smitty's Burner chiming in with the grad photo and everything. I know it's crazy, but should the Seahawks trade for Dak Prescott? Oh, man. What a rough week for Cowboy fans. How about them Cowboys? Oh, wasn't that just great this past week? I think Smitty was at that game, actually. I got to say, Dak, no, absolutely not. I think Dak is a top 10 quarterback in this league. But Dak gets so much money, he does not perform to what he is paid. And I don't want to take on that problem, and I don't want to have to give up what it would take to take on said problem. I like Dak, too. Don't get me wrong. But Dak is not going to get you to where you need to go. Because then what you have to give up sets you back in other ways, and the negatives do not outweigh the positives. I'm out. No thanks. I don't even think Dallas is moving on from Dak. Would you like to see the Seahawks trade for Dak Prescott? Yes, we're having that discussion. Why for yes and for no? Let me know what you think in the comments section. Today's show is sponsored by Factor. Factor Meals, the place to go for easy-to-cook bachelor meals, chef-prepared. I got to tell you, I love me some Factor. Get started with your resolutions with Factor so you're ready for the new year. Factor's ready-to-eat meal delivery takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success in the new year. Skip the grocery stores, prep work, and cooking fatigue. Instead, get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. With over 35 meals to choose from per week, including options like keto, calorie smart, vegan, plus veggie and more, plus over 55 weekly add-ons. You'll have a ton of nutritious and flavorful options to kickstart your resolutions. Forget frantic lunch preps and rush dinners. Factor's 2-minute meals are your secret weapon in the new year. Fill it fast with restaurant-quality meals all delivered right to your door. When things get hectic, Factor is flexible. Change your order up every week with plans from 4 to 18 meals per week, or pause or reschedule deliveries anytime. Head to factormeals.com/SeahawksChat50. Use code SeahawksChat50 to get 50% off. That's code SeahawksChat50 at factormeals.com/SeahawksChat50 to get 50% off. Link is in the comments and description of today's video. Factor Meals. Good. All right, Virgil writes in. Can we just call Vrabel right this minute and offer him the job? Don't even let him interview anywhere else. I like a lot of things about Mike Vrabel. I think he's a top 5 coach in this league. This man won with Ryan Tannehill as his quarterback. Won 2 division titles. Went to an AFC championship game with Ryan Tannehill, my friends. I'd be very open to that possibility. He's not an offensive coach. I know a lot of you want an offensive coach, but Vrabel, I'm getting more and more intrigued with Vrabel. Brian writes in, what new head coach do you think would foster a new winning culture in Seattle? Culture is the $1 million word I keep hearing over the last week. KJ Wright, Matt Hasselbeck, John Schneider. Everybody wants to talk culture. I mean, every time I hear culture, I just want to take a drink. The culture drinking game with the Seahawks coaching search. That's Patron, by the way. Here's the most important thing. Winning. A winning culture, right? Who would win the most? Harbaugh? Mike Vrabel. Those are your winners. I want to win. I want to win. Coach Dreadhead writes, if the Seahawks hire Quinn, do you go after a defensive player first in the draft, or you think he'll go quarterback as a no-brainer? I don't know. And John Schneider's in charge now, folks. That's John Schneider's call. Whoever he hires, John Schneider now has final say, not Pete Carroll. So that depends on what John's thinking. But I'll say this. I like the idea of whoever your new head coach is to go draft a quarterback and pair them together as far as I'm concerned. But we'll see. Still a lot of time to figure that out. Give us your perfect Seattle Seahawks head coach. If you had to go into a lab and could create the perfect Seattle Seahawks head coach for right now, this very moment, because there's no time like the present. Who gets the job done? Who would be the perfect fit right now? Let me know. Subscribe now to Seahawks Today. We got you covered each and every day on the channel, and we'll see you next time.